A petard was a small bomb used for blowing up gates and walls when breaching fortifications. It is of French origin and dates back to the 16th century. A typical petard was a conical or rectangular metal device containing 2–3 kilograms of gunpowder, with a slow match for a fuse. Etymology: par copyright tard comes from the Middle French par copyrighter, to break wind, from the root pet, expulsion of intestinal gas, derived from the Latin peditus, past participle of fetere, to break wind, and akin to the Greek ptin, to break wind. In modern French, a par copyright tard is a firecracker. Par copyright tardiers were deployed during sieges of castles or fortified cities. The par copyright tard, a rather primitive and exceedingly dangerous explosive device, comprised a brass or iron bell-shaped device filled with gunpowder and affixed to a wooden base called a madrier. This was attached to a wall or gate using hooks and rings, the fuse lit and, if successful, the resulting explosive force, concentrated at the target point, would blow a hole in the obstruction, allowing assault troops to enter. Shakespeare's phrase, "hoist with his own petard," remains in modern usage as hoist with one's own petard, meaning, to be harmed by one's own plan to harm someone else, or to fall into one's own trap, implying that one could be lifted upward by one's own bomb, or in other words, be foiled by one's own plan. Overview: petards were often placed either inside tunnels under walls, or directly upon gates. The petard's shape allowed the concussive pressure of the blast to be applied entirely towards the destruction of the target structure. Depending on design, a petard could be secured by propping it against the wall or gate using beams, as illustrated, or nailing it in place on a madrier. Variants. In military use, a petard mortar was the demolition weapon fitted to the Churchill AVRE tank. It was a mortar bombs at low velocities, short ranges, and high-arcing ballistic trajectories, of a 290 mm bore, known to its crews as the Flying Dustbin due to the characteristics of its projectile, an unaerodynamic 20 kg charge that could be fired up to 100 m. This was sufficient to breach or demolish many bunkers and earthworks, and even disable a Tiger tank. In Maltese English, in Malta, homemade fireworks are called petards. Petards are detonated by the dozen during feasts dedicated to local patron saints. Hoist with his own petard: if a petard detonated prematurely, the petardier would be blown upward by the explosion. William Shakespeare wrote "hoist with his own petard" in Hamlet. The word hoist is the past participle of heis, the earlier form of the verb hoist. In the following passage, the letters refer to instructions written by Hamlet's uncle Claudius, the King of Denmark, to be carried sealed to the King of England, by Hamlet and his schoolfellows Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. The letters, as Hamlet suspects, contain a death warrant for Hamlet, who later opens and modifies them to refer to Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Engineer refers to a military engineer. The spelling reflects Elizabethan stress. There's letters sealed, and my two schoolfellows, whom I will trust as I will add is fangard, they bear the mandate. They must sweep my way, and marshal me to knavery. Let it work. For 'tis the sport to of the engineer, hoist with his own petard. And he shall go hard, but I will delve 1 yard below their mines, and blow them at the moon. Oh, 'tis most sweet, when in one line two crafts directly meet. After modifying the letters, Hamlet escapes the ship and returns to Denmark. By hoist with his own petard, Hamlet means he is metaphorically turning the tables on Claudius, whose messengers are to be killed instead of Hamlet. Shakespeare's use of petard rather than petard may be an off-color pun. See also, Fougas, list of inventors killed by their own inventions, shape charge. References. External links, media related to petard at Wikimedia Commons.